Let's rank every team in Major League Baseball that's still in the playoff race. We're not talking about the Marlins. We're not talking about the Pirates. You need to have less than 5 games back of the wild card to be considered in this. So we're looking at teams like the Guardians. We're looking at the Mets. We're looking at all those teams. Don't forget to subscribe to the Windup so you don't miss out on any of the baseball content. We appreciate the amazing support you guys have been showing. I want to start off at the bottom with my team that I think is the worst of the remaining, James, and I'm going to go with the Cleveland Guardians. I think they're pretty horrible. Where did you rank them?
Yeah, I had them also as my worst remaining team that can reach the playoffs. I'm impressed that they've gotten to this spot where
It's crazy.
they're going to grind out another 500 season with almost no talent on this team outside of Jose Ramirez. They've lost Emmanuel Clase in the middle of the season. They're kind of smoke and mirroring the pitching staff right now. I think Gavin Williams got a bit underrated as the season's gone on, but there's nothing on this team.
No, I just don't know how they're even close to smelling the playoffs. It just kind of is a little bit of a discredit to how horrible the American League this year that the Guardians are even somewhat still in the conversation. I think they're like 2 games back at the time of recording.
I think of a similar ilk. My next worst team that's still in the playoff hunt, the St. Louis Cardinals.
Ooh, okay. I did not have them at 19. I did put them at number 18, but
Okay.
similarly, this team stinks. They're
Is,
horrible.
is it the Kansas City Royals?
Yeah, Kansas City Royals was number 19.
Yeah, so that was my 19 was the Cardinals. My 18 was the Royals. Again, bad teams. To me, at least the Royals have a bit more star power. Like I could see the Royals pitching staff like winning a few games and actually getting them closer to the playoffs. But the Cardinals, again, if the Cardinals were to get into a playoff series, I hope it doesn't happen. But I think they'd get their doors blown off by any team in baseball.
Yeah, the problem with me for the Royals is that their offense is so horrible. Like right now, they're being carried by Mike Yastrzemski, and like Vinny Pasquantino has been hot. Bobby Witt's great. Salvi's heated up a little bit, but the fact that like Mike
Michael,
Yastrzemski came into this line, yeah, Michael Garcia as well came into this lineup and like kind of changed things. Like we just know that's not possible. He's not that good of a player. You know, Mike Yastrzemski's 35.
yeah, that makes sense. He was a
I didn't know he
very
was.
late bloomer.
I know, but I thought he was like a late bloomer, like 28. I didn't think he was like a late bloomer, like 32.
I think he was a late bloomer 28 in 2019.
Is it really that long ago for Mike Yastrzemski?
Oh yeah, for sure. Remember that series the Mets played out there? That late summer series they got their doors blown off by the Giants in San Francisco.
Trying to black that one out of my memory, I believe. But yeah, Royals are horrible, and the opposite reason because the Royals have great pitching, the Cardinals have zero pitching, and their lineup also is dog
Bad.
water. It's terrible.
Terrible. My 17 team though. I think this is when teams start to get a little bit intriguing. I
Okay,
had the Tampa Bay Rays.
I have the Tampa Bay Rays as well. We can't just agree
Nailed
on
it.
things. We have to be different for the content.
We'll stop agreeing as we get further up this list. There's no doubt about that. But the Rays are, I think the Rays have gotten a little bit screwed up by the stadium this year. I think it's an undersold part of the Major League season. The fact that the Rays are playing in a minor league ballpark that's modeled after the Yankee Stadium bandbox. I think it's really boosting their hitters. It's really destroying their pitchers. I think if they move next year stadiums, we're going to see a lot of these hitters take major steps back and a lot of these pitchers take major steps up. It's going to be a funny thing to watch for the offseason.
Yeah, the sneaky thing too, because everyone's like in one of our previous videos, you didn't mention how, or you said that Tampa Bay is such an easy place to hit this year. It's the exact same stadium as Yankee Stadium. The fences are even lower height wise, so it's actually even better to hit in than it is at Yankee Stadium right now.
And I think I talked about that thing with the wind, where
Yes.
most major league stadiums are huge, so there's not as much wind that can swirl in. They have big scoreboards and big walls and more seats and higher seats up there, upper decks. That Tampa Bay Stadium doesn't have that, so it lets the wind get in there more sharply and spin around and change pitches, change balls in play, just make it a really difficult time for pitchers.
Yeah, it's also funny that a minor league stadium is the replica of Yankee Stadium. Just want that to be known. Usually, minor league stadiums are smaller than Major League Baseball stadiums.
Yes. So now moving on again, we're getting to the spot now where these teams actually can make the playoffs. I think those four
Yes.
teams we just mentioned, they're likely the ones probably not making the playoffs. But my number 16 team, Arizona Diamondbacks, oddly have gotten hot.
I I have them a little bit higher, one spot higher. I have them at number 15 on my rankings, but this is a team that I'm a little bit scared of because offensively with Ketel Marte, Perdomo, Gabriel Moreno, your boy is back behind the dish playing well. You have Corbin Carroll. There are good baseball players on this team still. The one thing that makes me put them a little bit lower is as good as that offense is, their pitching is not very good, especially on the bullpen side.
They have a non-existent bullpen. They traded Merrill Kelly, who's their most consistent starting pitcher. Zach Gallen has pulled up the nose for the second half of the season. He's looked very good again, but this is another team that it's like kind of an incomplete baseball team right now because they sold at the deadline. It's intentionally incomplete.
Similarly, I put the Reds at number 16 on mine
Okay.
because I don't believe in that team. I just don't. The pitching is good with Hunter Green. I totally buy Hunter Green. I buy Nick Lodolo. I think those guys are legit good. Singer and Abbott, I don't really trust down the stretch. And at the end of the day, this has been the problem with the Reds the entire time. For me, is they feel Guardians like. They've got their one superstar player in Ellie De La Cruz. If he's not carrying this team offensively, it feels like they don't have much. I know Noelvi Marte is playing better. They've gotten some better production out of guys, but ultimately this team oscillates between like 90 OPS WRC plus and 110. And if you get that 110 version, the Reds are hot and dangerous. When you get the 90, they can't beat anybody, and they're just way too hot and cold for the quality of players that they have on this team.
For sure, but I do think you're underselling some of the depth on this team. Like where the Guardians, basically 7 hitters in that lineup are, as one of our favorite phrases in this on this show, turbo dog shit. The
Correct.
Reds at least have a lot more major league caliber guys. Like the fact that Friedel, Noelvi Marte, Austin Hayes, Spencer Steer, those
Yeah.
guys would all be hitting in the top 4 of the Guardians
I
lineup.
I treat them more as like Guardians of Terry Francona's era, where it was like you had all these kind of players on those Guardians teams.
Like there's enough bats on this Reds lineup to get through every single game. Like Sal Stewart now being a guy, and same with Miguel Andujar. Like those being the actual bench hitters, that's better than some of these National League good teams have in terms of bench hitters. And having the ace and Hunter Green's the trump card. I had the Reds much higher on my list for these reasons.
Whoa.
And then even not much, but as much as these teams go. So Emilio Pagan's had a really good season. Tony Santillan has also had a good season. Zach Maxwell, Big Sugar, has come
I
up
do
in the
like
minor
him.
leagues to be like that's actually like a back 3 of a bullpen that could win you some games and be something that you can moderately trust. Like think about that back 3 and the back 3 the Diamondbacks took to the World Series a few years ago.
Sure.
That's that the one the Nationals won the World Series with. Like there's enough there to fake a back 3. There's enough guys that throw hard with good movement to be better than some of these other teams, like especially a team like the Diamondbacks. Who
I
have
also
no
think they only go as far as Ellie takes them because he is
He's been cold.
he's been ice cold. So it's like it's difficult to judge what this team looks like when the guy who's supposed to be the engine that's turning everything over is kind of playing okay baseball.
Sure, but I also think at the end of the day, some of the hitters in this lineup are at least a bit closer to being better than average than you're giving them credit for.
Maybe. I don't think they are. I really don't. Like, if you look at all their numbers, always, even Ellie's numbers this year, like, they're all right around being league average hitters, which is not a bad thing, but it's also not a good thing.
A hair better than league average hitters. Again,
Maybe.
totally okay. But that's why, again, they're better than some other teams. But that's why my 16 is still Diamondbacks.
Okay, so then who'd you have at 15?
Rangers.
Okay, I had Rangers at 14. We are keeping these teams very close together.
Real close.
You mentioned it to me on Mets Up podcast when we talked about the Rangers. Their lineup is bizarre. Their lineup is strange because they have so many injuries. They're playing random guys and hitting them towards the top of the order. That's what scares me about this team is the injuries. But when they're healthy, this team is extremely dangerous. They just are never healthy.
Yeah, so just tell you guys some things about the Texas Rangers lineup. So in the game they played Sunday against the Astros, in the game they won, I think to win that series over the Astros, if I'm not mistaken, and it had a huge critical 2 out of 3 in that series. Cody Freeman hit second. Cody Freeman, you know who Cody Freeman is, Mark?
I mean, he sounds like a creative player. I'm going to be honest. I don't know much about him.
He's one of these classic like AAA heroes, a little like older AAA guys.
How old is he? 28?
Probably 26. I don't know exactly. Okay. Check that for me right now. Dylan Moore picked up off the scrap heap at 6th.
Yikes. I know Mariners fans hated Dylan Moore this year.
Kyle Higashioka, 5th.
Oh.
Josh Young, who about 6 weeks ago was benched, was hitting 3rd. Wyatt Langford has gotten hot, and like that's been a big thing that's helped them out.
Cody Freeman, 24. Young
24. All right, there you go. Not that bad. But this is still a pick for the Rangers because Corey Seager will come back. He had an appendectomy last week, but he will play again this season. And they still had Jacob deGrom.
Yes.
So that's really, really, really helpful for any team that wants to win a playoff series.
Okay, yeah. So that was your 15. At 14, I had the Rangers. Who do you have at 14 now?
San Francisco Giants.
God, dude, we're one off on everything right now. I've got them at number 13. When are we going to separate from each other? I guess the Reds right now still hasn't popped up on your list. So
once we get to the real playoff teams, we're going to start to separate. But the Giants, this kind of baseball I expect them to play all year. It might be a little too late for them, but it's a lineup that's fine, especially the way Willy Adames and Rafael Devers are hitting right now. Like that's a lineup that you feel pretty good about, actually. Probably the best any Giants fans felt about their lineup besides the one crazy 2021 season, like since you guys won a World Series. And the pitching, again, also tolerable. Robbie Ray's kind of hit a wall coming back from Tommy John. Logan Webb is still very consistent, very solid. Justin Verlander has now hit his stride, oddly, towards the end of the season. But I don't think you expect that much out of Carson Seymour, Kai Wei Tang. And also, shame they've lost a lot of that bullpen. Trading Camilo Doval, now losing Randy Rodriguez, who was bad when he got the closer's role. It's a real hodgepodge at the back of that bullpen. One that will probably keep them from actually making a true run.
Yeah, I had them at number 13 on mine. Similarly, it's just like they do have some dudes like Chapman, Devers, Adames, and then even like Jung-Woo Lee being at the top of the order there, getting on base. Elliot Ramos is a decent player. Like I think they just have more of the top tier guys. That's why I put them a little bit higher than some of the other teams.
Yep, my 13 was the Reds for all the reasons talked about before.
Okay, so we know that, and that Giants at 13. Now I feel like
How's
I
the
mean
playoff teams?
we're at number 12, and if you guys haven't noticed, all the teams that are in the playoffs right now, they haven't been named yet. The ones that are officially in the playoffs at the season ended today. So, getting us started at number 12, I went with the Houston Astros, and I feel like that might be a bit of a bold pick, but I genuinely think they might stink. I don't know how they've made it this far into the season, and I think it's because again, the American League overall stinks. It's a bad league this year, but the Astros losing Josh Hader hurts. Brian Abreu is money, but that bullpen is a lot worse without Josh Hader. Their starting pitching is fine. Like I love Hunter Brown and Framber, and I know Christian Javier's back. I don't know if that combination with their weird lineup that they have is truly enough to actually like make a run. And they did get defeated last year by the Tigers. Like I feel like we might have seen the end of the Astros dynasty era by getting knocked out by the Tigers that quickly.
I agree a lot of what you're saying. I did have the Astros a little bit higher. My number 12 team is the Chicago Cubs.
Whoa, I have them way higher.
I think the Cubs right I
Why?
think the Cubs are like the worst playoff team right now.
Ooh, I so hard disagree. Why do you dislike them so much?
I don't trust the pitching. Daniel Palencia got hurt on Sunday, and I think that puts a lot of stress now on Brad Keller, who's been like one of the best stories sneakily in baseball as a converted reliever. But their lineup has not been consistent at all for 2 straight months. This is a situation right now where the things that happen in April, May, and June, I think, are weighting your brain. And you think that this Cubs lineup is still like a mega elite lineup. Michael Bush is like a 600 OPS for 2 months.
I
Seiya
know, but he's
Suzuki
been
is like a
cold.
600 OPS for two. Like, you know, what I mean? I think that this is the classic team that drags themselves to the playoffs. You have ideas of them from what happened earlier in the season, and they're not that team. Pico Armstrong doesn't really hit anymore. Like
Of
Dansby's
course.
been the guy that's been super consistent. Kyle Tucker, another weird injuries popped up and he
Yeah,
hasn't
it's
played in a couple of
crazy.
days. Like Ian Happ has been a metronome, kind of the bad version of what Ian Happ is, but like this lineup, what was something that was carrying them and looked like something that could be a big enough tool to bludgeon people in a playoff series isn't anywhere close to that anymore. And then when we get into a playoff series, I don't trust the pitching staff either. Like I really don't. I think Matthew Boyd's had a great season, but you put up Matthew Boyd against like some of these real good playoff lineups. I don't really know. Shota, I like Shota. I don't love Shota. Cade Horton's been one of the best pitchers in the league in the second half. He's another one. Do you give Cade Horton 5 innings in the playoff
I
game?
would. I think he's good.
I think he's pretty good, but I think that I don't know. I just Jameson Tyone came back and then he got hurt again. Like it's a lot of mix up right now with this Cubs team. I just don't. When I look at this roster, I'm not even close to being intimidated by it.
I think that lineup's still very good. I think taking 2 months of bad play and completely outweighing what they've done from the beginning of the year, what these guys have done for their career is crazy. Like Michael Bush is a good hitter. He's hit a cold stretch. Same thing with PCA. PCA was never going to be the hitter that he was at the beginning of the year. I think we all know that, but he's still awesome.
Yeah, he's still a great player.
Health is going to be their biggest enemy right now, it feels like. They've got to get healthy, and they need Kyle Tucker in that lineup every single day. They need Seiya Suzuki to step up. They need Ian Happ to be better. They need those guys to be better, but at the end of the day, I still believe in those players. If there was ever a time to get ice cold, it's going to be right now. It's like get cold right before the playoffs. You don't need like a lot of teams like pop. I think a lot of teams pop their load a little bit, a little early, kind of like the Brewers. I think the Brewers might pop their load a little early. I do have them kind of high because I think they're actually really good, but I have the Cubs much higher. I put the Cubs at number 7 on my list. I think that they
Yeah, it's very
are.
different.
I think they're very much a contender. And while that pitching is bad, specifically in the bullpen, I think because Wrigley can play so weird at times, they can get away with it, especially if they have home field advantage in some games.
Yeah, they can. I think a little bit more. We saw a lineup play over their skis early, especially someone like Michael Bush, who I think is NPCA. The two guys who were kind of driving that whole force, guys who were heading into the All Star break, looked like some of the best hitters in the league. They're playing worse right now in the way I think they actually are, but those are players who are, though I think they're good players, but in offensively speaking, you need the other guys to be the difference makers. Like it's much more about Tucker, say Suzuki, even like an Ian Happ in a playoff series than I think what you're going to be able to get from Michael Bush or PCA with
We'll
the
see.
bat.
We'll
We'll
find
see
out.
about that. But yeah,
We'll see about that.
So who's your next team? Who's number 11?
Number 11, I went Detroit Tigers.
Okay, that's much lower than I had the Tigers.
Yeah, we watched them play the Mets recently. I'm not impressed. Like Tarek Skubal's awesome. He's amazing. He's arguably the best pitcher in baseball. Outside of that, nobody in the rotation gives me any sort of fear whatsoever. I think they literally have one playoff starting pitcher, and they're going to figure out the rest. Like Jack Flaherty stinks. Charlie Morton's 100 years old. I don't think you can trust Casey Mize to pitch big games in a playoff, to start a playoff game. And then that lineup, I love Riley Green. I like Torkelson. Glaber's had a nice year. There's some pieces there. I don't know how it performs in the playoffs. I still like look at that team similar to how you looked at the Cubs, where you're like, I think they're playing over their skis. I don't see the rest of this lineup being productive as long as they have been. I don't know. Maybe I'm a Tigers hater.
Yeah, I think it's fair to be a Tigers hater. I was a Tigers hater. I messed up last week too, and I think that's fair. But I had them a bit higher. Just I think the Scooble thing is such a trump card I thought of this more so who like best most likely to win the World Series. That was kind of how I
Sure.
did these rankings. I
Okay.
thought about how these teams would fare in these playoff series. That's why my next team, number 11, kind of goes against what I just said. But this team seems to have not. This team seems to have lost all belief in themselves, and it's such an embarrassing, disgusting way they're playing baseball right now. The Seattle Mariners, where objectively speaking, they should be one of the five most likely teams to win a World Series.
Correct.
Between their rotation, the way they built that lineup, the way the back end of that bullpen looks, the only thing that ever stops the Seattle Mariners is themselves. And for some reason, they always manage to stop themselves. I don't know how they continue to lose these games the way they lose them, but they cannot build any consistency. And they've let this American League wildcard race become objectively a mess, one that should have been totally handled like weeks ago.
Yeah, I have the Mariners a little higher. I have them at number 9 on my rankings for similar reasons, though. Like they've played poorly, but I will stand on my take that I do think they're one of the best teams, if not the best team on paper in the American League. I think just top to bottom with that starting rotation, that bullpen, even the lineup, which should be so much better right now. The fact that Suarez and Naylor have gone ice cold again is a major killer. And I don't know why players do this every time they go to Seattle, unless your name is Randy or Rosarena, but they get so ice cold as
Hard
soon
place
as
to
they get
hit.
there. Hard place to hit, but apparently I think Petriello did a whole bit about how it's like being overstated a little bit, that there's been changes to what happened with the batter's eye.
Yeah, I know. I think, but it does keep happening though. It
I
happens
know
over and
that's
over again, which is
what's the
anecdotal. Yeah,
I also I think I empathize with Mariners fans because they feel like very similar to like us as Mets fans, where I'm like, I want to
yeah.
see you guys do well. I have no hatred towards the Mariners. Great fan base. They have good teams. They have good players. That rotation is the best in baseball. It's at some point it has to click. It has to.
Who is your number 11 team then?
My number, I told you, it was the Tigers.
Oh yeah, Tigers. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
about that. But I think I agree with you about the Mariners. It hurt me to put them this low, but I
I
think
know. Yeah,
from what we see, it's just this team can never actually string it together and do it. I want to
they're
see
a
them do it.
classic. Yeah, show me before I can believe you, and I'm cool with that.
Which for a lot of these reasons, that's why I put the Astros in my number 10 team.
Okay,
Because I can't believe in my heart of hearts that the Mariners will go further than the Astros. I see the Mariners go further than the Astros. That's it. Like, especially, I think that you're underselling what this Astros lineup looks like right now. As they've gotten healthier, Jordan back, Correa in there. Correa's been hitting pretty well since that trade. Like, I think that and Christian Walker, I think, was so bad those first 2 months of the
so
season.
bad.
He's been objectively fine, kind of since the middle of July, like at least up to Christian Walker's regular levels. I think that's something where that's a top 6, top 5 of a lineup where you have some true force there. And I think a lot better than some of these American League teams do. I would objectively still though take the Mariners top 5 of their lineup over them.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Like,
again, it's such a like a thing in my chest that I can't give the Mariners the credit until I actually see them earn it and take it first.
yeah, and I'll say this: I feel dirty putting the Astros down there, but like I just watch that team and I get no feeling whatsoever watching them play baseball.
Totally. The whole Framber thing too is so weird. Like
So weird.
that's a bad vibe situation. And as much as I do like him and Hunter Brown's a 1-2 in a playoff series, the whole thing just feels weird. This feels like it does feel like live watching the end of the dynasty, which
Yes.
is it's nice to watch. But yeah, that's my number 10. Who's your
Oh,
10?
so at number 10, I went San Diego Padres. Reason
Okay.
being, their offense is like bizarre. It's like weirdly being carried by Ramon Laureano right now,
Oh
which
yeah, this.
never would have expected to say that sentence out loud. Fernando Tatis, I don't know when he's going to wake up. As a Mets fan, I hope he doesn't anytime soon. But he just like hasn't even come close to the level that he used to be. He's incredibly streaky. Jackson Merrill's had a down year. Xander Bogaerts has weirdly been good.
Well, he's
But
not
like,
fractured foot. He's out.
I know, but he was weirdly good this year.
Yeah, he's playing well.
Luis Ariz stinks. We know that. Jake Cronenworth is a baseball player. Like Manny Machado's great. Manny Machado's awesome. Shout out Manny Machado,
Future Hall of Famer.
future Hall of Famer. The pitching's weird. The bullpen got some injuries now, so they're a little more human. I still think they're a dangerous team because again, the top end talent is there. But another team where it's like they just never put it together, despite making all the amazing trades. Mason Miller's incredible. Never put it together.
No, I had the Padres ranked a little higher, and I'll talk about that when we get there. But who's your number 9 team?
Number 9 team, Seattle Mariners. I went with
Okay.
them for all the
And
previously mentioned.
And I went with the Tigers there for again
Yep.
similar reasons.
Okay.
I think the lineup's tiny bit better. I think the bullpen's tiny bit better than you're giving it credit for. I think that again, and having Scooble, which again the Mariners also have Logan Gilbert, like which is a helpful piece too. But
Tigers bullpen scared. I don't know if they have the stuff to get like the big hitters out in the playoffs. Like I see them running into the Yankees or like the Red Sox or even the Astros, and I'm like, how do they get through the like a tough lineup with these pitchers?
he went on the injured list now. But have you seen the changes they made for Kyle Finnegan after the trade?
No.
They like doubled his splitter usage, and he's
Okay.
almost tripled his strikeout rate.
I mean, that's big. I know
Yes.
we were talking about Kyle Finnegan for the Mets, so
I think that was a big thing that has helped the way the back end of that bullpen looks. But similarly, like I'm me. I'm not a manager guy.
No,
I'm taking AJ Hinch over half these AL managers. Oh, like the way
totally.
that they winning these playoff series in the past gives me confidence you can win playoff series in the future. That's
Mm.
probably a reductive way to look at this, but if you told me the Tigers are matched up against the Mariners, I'm taking the Tigers. At 3 game series, 5 game series, like that'll probably 5 game series the way things are going to line up. It's just that's
You would, huh?
I think so. I think the Mariners are just so blah to me. They look terrible. They look.
The Tigers
I'll
don't feel
never.
blah outside unless when Scooble's not on the mound. The Tigers don't feel blah to you.
Well, luckily he'll pitch twice in the 5 game series.
Maybe
So that's a big part of it. I don't know. I give them a little bit more credit for that roster and just the vibes they have over the Mariners.
they do have vibes.
Which I'll
Give
get.
them,
A big part of baseball playoffs are vibes. Huge
of
part of
course.
it.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, the Mets literally made it to the NLCS on strictly vibes last year. So
All right. I think it's gonna start getting interesting at number 8. I have the Boston Red Sox.
I have the Toronto Blue Jays,
Interesting. See, I like the Blue Jays a lot more right now. From
and I like the Red Sox a lot more.
the only reason I like the Red Sox is because I think they're the only team with a huge mental advantage over the Yankees.
Well, that's part of my ranking as to where they
Yes.
are, and I think my Red Sox ranking is crazy, but
I think the Red Sox lose a series to the Blue Jays and beat the Yankees, but I think the Yankees are better than the Blue Jays.
yeah, I don't know. Listen. I know I'm the number one Blue Jays hater on the planet, apparently, but like I still don't know how this team wins a playoff series against the Red Sox, the Yankees. I think they're the third best team in the American League right now, on paper. Dalton Varsho's playing crazy good. George Springer's playing crazy good. Vlad's great. Bo's great.
Their lineup is awesome.
Their lineup's great.
Amazing.
The problem for me is, one, I've seen Chris Bassett pitch in playoff games, doesn't work. I've seen Max Scherzer pitch in playoff games recently, doesn't work. He single-handedly tried to sabotage the Rangers World Series run in 2023. Everyone forgets about that. He's been a horrible playoff pitcher recently. Jose Barrios sucks. Like,
Yes, it's bad.
their bullpen's way better than I thought. Still don't
Yes.
trust it. Yariel Rodriguez getting big outs doesn't instill fear, I think, into anybody. Brandon Little's cool, but there's a lot of, it feels like, pitch to contact in that bullpen, and I don't think that works in the playoffs.
Hoffman and Dominguez as the 8-9 guys will get the strikeouts. Gausman has had a really good under the radar season. He's not like Gausman ace level again.
He's too finicky though, too.
He is too finicky, but I'm a little bit more confident in Shane Bieber. I know there's been a big blow up recently off the injured list. I think that Shane Bieber can pitch a playoff game and you won't feel that bad about it. But this team, especially compared to where the Red Sox are right now, again, the caveat on all these Red Sox takes are I think they could beat the Yankees. I think
smoke the Yankees.
I think they have the best chance of any American League team to beat the Yankees in the series, almost by far. But the injuries have kind of stacked up on them, where now they're the outfield depth that we thought was so flush a few weeks ago isn't really that way anymore. And there's been not the best news on Willie Abreu. I think he will come back, but we're not like the most confident. There's been some setbacks. And Roman Anthony, the bleak strain.
Yeah, it sucked.
You might have to play a wild card series without him. So like that's a situation where you've lost a huge part of your team and you're counting on a guy like Masataka Yoshida, who we know has been incredibly inconsistent. We don't really know if he can hit. Trevor Story, who we've talked about in this channel a few times so far, who I think Trevor Story is a good player. I think Trevor Story in actuality isn't exactly as good as I don't know if you want Trevor Story hitting fourth in the playoff series. Like I think that clearly right now this team's a hitter short, maybe two. They traded one, and now two of the other ones are injured. And I think that's a big thing that's holding this team back.
Yes, the injuries are definitely hurting the Red Sox, but I mean, should I just tell you where I put them?
Yeah, I mean, no, let's let it get there because then we'll talk more Red Sox stuff when we get there. But those are our number 8s. So in my number 7, I had the Padres.
Okay, and I had the Chicago Cubs.
Okay, so I think you and I are flipped on Padres Mariners.
Yes,
because it's the same concept, the same idea. Like I see players on a team and I expect you to play better. But especially this Padres team, I'm still just thinking that Michael King comes back for the playoffs and becomes like an actual pitcher that they need.
That changes everything if he's healthy and good to go.
For sure. And I'm anticipating that he is. Based on everything that's coming out, seems like they're preparing if he's going to be there. Then King, Pavetta, Cease, Darvish. I know how bad Cease has been this year, how up and down Darvish has been. That at least is dudes for starts.
Yes.
Dudes for starts are important. And the same with the lineup where there's still a lineup where like they could just make some crazy shit happen. They are.
For sure. I mean, and we know that this Padres team gets unreal hot as a team. Like they will just put up like 15 runs in 2 innings, and you're like, oh shit, this game's over.
Like if I'm objectively putting myself in playoff series, and this is a group that's done this a few times before with infusions, like they always seem to have a little bit more of an edge. Like when they lost that series to the Dodgers last year, that
was crazy.
That was an unbelievable playoff series in terms of like a division series. Like us and the Phillies going on at the same time were remarkable. But
yes.
if that series goes differently, the entire World Series could go differently. Like that was a
It's
Padres
kind of
team.
the World Series.
That was a Padres. I mean, that was what the Dodgers were saying after it. That Padres team was built to go on a run. This is a very similarly, possibly even better built team. The pitching's a little worse right now, starting pitching, but the lineup's a little bit better, I think. Even though as poorly as they've hit lately, I just see a little bit more. I have a little bit more of a rose-colored view with this Padres team compared to how they've been of late.
Well, you got at number 6 because I went with the New York Mets.
I also have the Mets at 6.
Oh, we did it. We got the Mets in the exact same spot, and I think for the same reasons. The lineup's really good. Whatever people
Yeah.
want to tell you, the lineup is good, especially with Francisco Alvarez back.
Lineup is great.
Yeah, 1 through 9, they have hitters that are above league average offensively, and then you have Juan Soto and Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor at the top, 1, 2, 3 right there. That's like one of the best top 3 in baseball. You can make the argument maybe it is the best 1, 2, 3 in baseball.
I think even 1 through 5 right now, the Mets have one of the best actively going right now. Like I don't think people are understanding how scalding hot Juan Soto's been for about 2 straight months now.
No, they don't get
Similarly,
it.
Francisco Lindor, the way he's been playing for another month straight after he was really ice cold most of the summers, he was tending to a broken toe. Like
Yeah, I
this,
think his foot's better.
yeah. Brandon Nimmo's also had a great month. Jeff McNeil's an OPS over 800. Mark Vientos and Brett Beatty have become real guys who can play every single day. And like when they're in the lineup, especially Mark Vientos of late, like you kind of fear him now. He's back
Yep.
to that level. The fact that Cedric Mullins can be a platoon in center field, Mets fans hate him, but he's the kind of guy who does little things well to help you win a playoff
And
series.
he's hitting 9th.
Yes, Francisco Alvarez has one dislocated thumb and one broken pinky, one in each hand. He's still just back there playing well. Like this, the Mets lineup is a position group. It's a unit that's good enough to ruin series. Like they can
Now-
bust. The other stuff's bad.
I was going to say, to play devil's advocate, we are totally being Mets biased here because you look at this pitching and you're like, fuck, how did they get 27 outs in a game? Like, it doesn't
No
really
clue.
make any sense.
But I do think the Mets have a strange opportunity to be able to be creative, similar to the Tigers last year, where they
Yes.
can like kind of be college World Series kind of thing, or like three innings at a time. Brandon Sproat, Nolan McLean, Jonah Tong, these guys coming up, being a huge infusion of energy, with bulk, with length, especially McLean being
Awesome.
the upside's stupid right now. Everything same thing. What we're seeing from Tong and Sproat, like there's a lot here. Sean Manaea for 3 innings, like there's a level of creativity I'm begging the Mets to go after right now, and that could help this very bad pitching be better.
Similarly to how the Dodgers were creative last
Yeah.
playoff run. They basically, Jack Flaherty and Yoshinobu Yamamoto were like the only guys pitching more than like 3 innings at a time.
But literally, and that should be something that hopefully the Mets use. But now going past number 5,
Philadelphia Phillies.
same here, Philadelphia
Yep.
Phillies.
I think the Phillies, your favorite sentence, they're the most complete team in baseball. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. We're going to see them in a 4-game series as Mets fans, and I'm shitting my pants right now. I don't love that, especially how we're playing baseball and how they're playing. But, like, you look at this team, weirdly enough, the offense, I think, is their big, like, glaring hole because it's really just Schwarber, Harper, Turner, and everybody else.
When you now lost one of them,
Well, who is Turner hurt?
Trey Turner strained his hamstring yesterday.
Oh, he's on the IL for this?
Not officially yet as of recording, but they haven't made any announcements as they've and
Okay.
have not, and they're late to release a lineup.
Still, regardless, I think he'll be ready for the playoffs. So those are the 3 guys that you worry about in the offense. Everyone else doesn't really matter. You've got to get those outs. That's why I think they're still a top 5 team with that pitching and the improved bullpen, even though it's still been shaky. Harper, Schwarber, Turner, though, are that good that they can win you playoff series.
Bryce Harper's hitting leadoff now with Trey Turner out.
Okay.
That's cool.
That is
Great, only a grade 1 strain for Turner, so we will definitely be back for the playoffs. But if this Phillies team still had Zach Wheeler, they might have been 2 on my list.
That's fair.
But they lose a lot with that, and you are right about the fact that the middle of that lineup right now, Harrison Bader and Max Kepler are both hitting, but after the beginning there, it does fall off quickly, especially without Trey Turner being like a guy who's probably one of the more underrated players in baseball this season. I know you guys don't
He's
like
been
when
great defensively.
I know you guys don't like when I say stars are underrated, but I think Trey Turner is someone that like might keep. He will still get down ballot MVP votes even while missing the last 3 weeks of the season. And
What about Alec Boehm hitting 280?
Alec Boehm hitting 280 so on the IL right now. No, he's back. He's not back. He's not playing yet still. But they also Sanchez can probably be a playoff one, but he's probably not the best playoff one you could ever imagine. And I think that just kind of hurts the whole thing because then you're really going to rely on Nola and Jesus Luzardo, who are so hot and cold to each of them, to get huge playoff outs. I think if you asked a Phillies fan right now how confident you are in those 2 guys starting 2 games of the playoff series, they wouldn't be that confident. But Sanchez and Suarez are that good, and Yohan Duran, Matt Strahm, Robertson, like that's becoming a nice back end of the bullpen. Not great. It's not the best around, but it's definitely good enough to go on a run.
Are we going to agree on number 4 as well? I've got the Milwaukee Brewers.
No, that was where I had the Blue Jays.
Ooh, okay. Whoa. Okay, so Brewers are going to be a little bit higher for you. I like to see that.
watching this Blue Jays lineup, it's a lot similar to the analysis we have about the Mets, where I'm like, that's a lineup can get hot enough to destroy you, to
Yes,
absolutely upend the playoff series. Like George Springer is like the third highest OPS in baseball this year. Like
he's been so good.
he's turned back the clock in such an obscene way. Bo Bichette's awesome, Vlad Guerrero's awesome. Like, and then like the depth of that lineup. I know Addison Barger's gone cold, but he's the kind of guy who's like he's the guy who could be like a dude in a playoff series. Like he has those kinds of physical tools. Like it's I know they just had a bad series against the Yankees. There's a really good chance the Yankees catch them and wind up winning the division, which I think we both kind of agreed with based on how these rankings are going so far.
Yes.
But again, what the Blue Jays can do from an offensive standpoint could ruin a series. I think that's what they're going for.
Oh, 100%. It definitely could ruin a series with
Yeah,
how hot they can get. But I think for me, why I put the Brewers at 4 and not 3, as good as they're playing baseball, they have the best record in the league. They've been hot. The pitching in the bullpen is awesome. We know that. That's always what the Brewers' MO is. They're going to pitch, they're going to hit, they're going to play good defense, they're going to run the bases. I don't know how long this version of their offense can truly work, especially in a postseason series. We saw it last year a little bit too when the Mets ran into them. They're a good team. This is a dangerous team. But like weirdly speaking, I would feel a lot better playing them in a longer series than a shorter series, if that makes sense.
I actually kind of agree with that as well. Maybe I don't agree with that because in terms of if you have to like pick between the Brewers and the Dodgers who you want to face in the longer versus the shorter series,
I would rather face the Dodgers in a 3-game series than a long series.
of course that's my point. It's more about who like the devil's in the details there. I think this Brewers team because I had them as my three.
Okay, yeah.
Who was your three?
I went with the Red Sox at 3.
Interesting. That's crazy. But all right, so
I'm vibing with the Red Sox.
all right, we'll talk more about the Red Sox in a second. But I think this Brewers team is a better version of the other Brewers teams by far. Clearly, you
Yes,
can see that in
definitely
the
better.
regular season record, even just compared to how you line up these guys in a playoff series. Like right now, the fact that Woodruff is pitching the way he's pitching, okay, wasn't here last year. He's not the ace Brandon Woodruff from 2022. He's not pumping 100, but the way he's moving the fastballs around the zone, the way he's locating, the way he's still getting swings and misses. Him and Freddie Peralta, bang, bang, 1-2. That's ferocious. We do also know that sometimes Freddie's just inconsistent. And
Yes.
there's a really good chance you get bad Freddie Peralta for a game one, even though for 2 months now he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. And then after that, there'll probably be some kind of thoughts about Mizorowski, how long he's pitching in the games. He's still sitting around his 70, 75 pitches. So I think like him and Quinn Priester are still quite a good playoff 3-4.
I was gonna say it's also an awesome if you need to use Mizorowski,
That's what I'm
you've
saying.
got
Yeah.
3 innings of 102 coming at you.
I'd say okay, Freddie Peralta is 1 2/3 with 2 runs in and 2 men on base. That might just be, bring in one of the nasty relievers that they have and then let Quinn Priester start a fresh inning and see if he can get you to the 8th. Because again, this Trevor McGill will come back. And this bullpen between McGill, Uribe, Jared Koenig, turning Aaron Ashby into this left-handed demon, insane. Like Joel Pyam still has some stuff. Like they have guys in that bullpen. And they're going to get you're going to scoff at this. They're going to get Reese Hoskins back, who's still just a guy you want in your lineup in a playoff series. He is.
Listen, I know who Reese Hoskins is. I'm aware. I know. I scoff at him because I hate him, but he is a completely fine hitter.
And I think there's a bit more star power in this lineup than he gets credit for sometimes. Like,
Sure. I mean, Jackson Chorio's awesome. He's sick.
Chorio Yelich Contreras, that's ferocious. And the
Yes.
fact that Bryce Terang has turned himself into this hitter,
Very
that also
good hitter now.
that really changes things about this team. And I like Isaac Collins a lot. Like he really might wind up winning Rookie of the Year, and everything he does, I think he'll continue to do. He hits the ball hard and he runs well. He's a switch hitter, no platoon advantages there. Like Caleb Durbin's been a nice cog, someone who seems like he was on the Brewers forever. Seems like the guy was born to be a Brewer.
Yankees could have really used Caleb Durbin this year.
Literally, actually, he would have been by far the best third baseman in their organization. Actually, looking back, and Andrew Vaughn got really hot when he arrived there. Andrew Vaughn's now gotten really cold again, but I think it'll time well for the Hoskins return. Sal Frelick, your favorite player, he's also just a good player. Like
Yes.
he's the kind of guy he's a real rat in a playoff series. Like he'll make a lot of plays. Like this Brewers team, I think it's really easy to overlook them because of the Brewers, and it does feel like they're a team, like you said before, could have shot their load too soon. It's a complete baseball team. They have a lot of good things working. And I think that they are primed with the way the pitching is right now to actually make a real run.
But
First time in a while.
I totally agree with you. This is the best iteration of the Brewers that we've
By
seen
far.
in quite some time. Probably since 2019 when they made that run with
That team sucked.
No, that team was good. That team was
Yeah.
was sneaky good. That team they
God,
brought
they
the
were
Dodgers to
approaching
7
good.
games.
They did. That's
That was
6.
No, I thought they went 7. Did they not?
Almost positive it was 6.
All right, well, whatever they did. Good series. But yeah, I had the Brewers 4. I had the Red Sox at number 3. Let me just, for all the reasons you had them a little bit lower, I think the starting rotation's low-key really good. I think this is a good
could be,
playoff rotation with Crochet's money, one of the best pitchers
Yeah.
in baseball. Brian Bayo's been awesome. He's been
Yeah.
really, really good. And I think Giolito, Tolley, those guys mixing up as that 3-4 in a series feels strong. And then the bullpen. Aroldis Chapman's like low-key been one of the best relievers in baseball this year.
High key. What's the low
Justin
key?
Slayton's back. He's really good. I will never trust Steven Matz to get big outs, but like all the guys that they have in this bullpen have been getting big outs. They've been doing a good job. I think they have a lot of different unique arm angles as well in the bullpen. And at the plate, losing Roman Anthony is a major, major like heat check. I think if they had Roman Anthony, I think they're the best team in the American League. That is my take. He's that good. I think he's a top 20 player in the league when healthy. I don't love some of the guys in this lineup right now, but they do play good defense.
Mm-hmm.
They get on base, they steal bases, and they hit home runs. And those are things to me that I like from a playoff team, along with the fact that Alex Cora is there and that guy just does really well in the postseason.
They are the good vibes team. They're the momentum team right now.
Yes.
You could definitely feel that. But just looking at that lineup, they're legitimately 2 hitters short.
Yeah, and those are the two guys that are hurt right now. Like if Anthony and Willie Abreu come back, I would not want to run into the Red Sox in a playoff series right now. That's kind of why I put them this high.
For sure. I'm not really confident with the version you get of them when they come back either. Like they got soft tissue. They have soft tissue injuries.
Yeah, but
Willier has
they're also like 22.
Willier's not 20. Willier's like 24. Yeah, but the way that they were talking, the way Roman Anthony was talking, it looked like he lost a family member. He was so
sure.
sad.
I think there's a chance he doesn't come back.
Yeah, so I think that's a scary thing. But I think now we might be realigned again on 2-1.
Yes. So at number 2, I'm going with the New York Yankees.
Same.
It's painful to me to say. I don't think they're good, but also they are. And
they are good.
Especially with how bad the American League is, as long as they don't play the Red Sox, I don't know how they don't make the World Series.
I think the Yankees are basically guaranteed to win the pennant.
And the Blue Jays. They have to stay away from the Blue Jays, too. Although they got them back a little bit.
They just beat the Blue Jays in the series this weekend.
I know, but if they go to Toronto, if they're in Toronto ever, they can't win a game there.
Let's see. This Yankees lineup, I don't think gets enough credit for how ridiculously good it is right now. Like with Giancarlo Stanton just being taking 10 years off his age this season, having nearly 1,000 OPS and something like 18 homers in 50 games.
Do you think that the Yankees should just keep Giancarlo on the shelf every year until the All-Star break and then just bring him back and be like, you're fresh, you're good?
Yeah, you're like the version of a closer in terms of a full season, not actually a single game out of the bullpen. But
just IL him 60-day immediately, spring training.
Ben Rice is so good. Jazz is so good. Like Bellinger's having an amazing season. It's just the whole thing. It always comes back to with the Yankees. Grisham, of course. Like if one time ever Aaron Judge is just acts like himself in the playoffs and doesn't freak the fuck out, that all of a sudden this team can beat anybody, and they will beat anybody. Like they will go to the World Series. The one time he gets hot, they'll win a World Series.
The one thing that truthfully terrifies me about this team, and you said you don't like to look into managers, but in the playoffs is a little bit differently.
Well, that's why I said, yeah.
Aaron Boone's an idiot. That guy has consistently been one of the worst managers in baseball. He pushes every wrong button. He bitches and moans, and I think in a playoff series that can be a detriment at times. I don't think the umpires are going to give you the calls in the postseason. Maybe he needs to get ejected. Maybe that will actually help them is if he gets thrown out of the games, because it seems like every decision he ever makes is horrible, and his handling of the bullpen, he never makes the right call, never figures out who the right guy is to put in.
And this bullpen should be great.
Should be good.
Looking at the names in this Yankee bullpen, I think is the best bullpen in the American League by far. Mariners, maybe.
Yeah, they're better. No, they're the best bullpen in the American League. Yeah,
especially David Bednar. I know a lot of people remember that he blew that first save. He got off the deadline and blew another one a week later. But he's been awesome. He's a very good closer. Luke Weaver's really gone up and down. I don't know what you're gonna get from him. Fernando Cruz has been kind of sneaky, a very solid guy in this bullpen. Devin Williams. Best of luck to when you decide to use him in a playoff series. He could be the best pitcher on earth, or he could completely ruin it for you. Camilo Doval, another one where right now it feels you don't know which Camilo. Camilo Doval is objectively very good, but there's moments you really don't know which Camilo Doval you're getting on a day in, day out basis. And then the rotation's also interestingly good right now, but also there's some projection with it. I know Fried is a dude. When Max Fried gets to the playoffs, he's awesome.
Game pitcher.
Carlos Rodon, he's very talented, but also he can be a big game pitcher, but he can be erratic. And then it kind of just becomes a Cam Schlittler question. I love Cam Schlittler.
Of course.
Cam Schlittler is awesome, but after then it's are they going to put this version of Luis Gil in a playoff series? Are you going to see Will Warren even on these playoff rosters?
Oh, he's hurt. My bad.
Clark Schmidt, he's got Tommy John months ago.
I know. I forgot about that one.
Unbelievable.
But it's because it's the back end of the Yankees rotation where it's
But that's a critical spot right now because we're talking about Cam Schlittler in Game 3. If this Yankees team had Garrett Cole,
oh yeah, they're money.
Whew, yeah, it'd be better than Dodgers.
It'd be terrifying. But they don't. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't necessarily think the Yankees are the second best team in baseball, but because of ranking playoff teams and how this works, I think they have the easiest path to the World Series
by
by
far.
far. And it's
I,
it's like everybody else is a step below them in terms of on paper talent. And the fact that they do have the best hitter in Major League Baseball changes everything. Like you said, if he just shows up, honestly,
one time.
if he's 75%, they
Yeah.
would probably walk to the World Series.
He would already have a ring if he could ever be 75% himself in the playoffs. But like, that's also why,
And
like, look, what?
I mean, they also shit down their leg last year too. As soon as the lights came on, the entire team shit down their leg.
That's
Something
part
to
of it.
note. They cannot handle the pressure, it feels like.
But again, at the same time, we're looking at objectively like who has the best chance to win the World
Yes.
Series. And there's also us assuming they're going to catch the Blue Jays and avoid that 3-game series.
Yes, because if they don't,
Then
this
they're way
changes
down.
everything.
They're
Yeah.
way down this list. They're probably around between like the 5 to 8 range.
And this
truthfully.
isn't anti-Blue Jays propaganda. This
No.
is more that we know what the Yankees are. They should be better.
Yes. And again, that lineup is something else we talk about, like in terms of the strength of a unit, it's obscenely good. As long as Aaron Judge shows up.
Yes, if Aaron Judge is there, like Jazz is so good. Criminally underrated. Trent Grisham, did you mention him?
Oh yeah, 100%. He's ridiculously good.
30 home runs this year. Like he's a freak. They're a good team, and I think they're clearly the best team in the American League. Put them at number 2. At number 1, Los Angeles Dodgers. We don't need to talk too much about them. I will just say that until someone beats them, they are still the best team in baseball. I know Mookie has not been good this year. I know that there have been some holes in this lineup, especially towards the bottom of that order, and their bench is bizarre. But they
Bizarre.
like in the past, they built their teams for regular seasons. Now it feels like this team is built strictly to go off in the postseason.
100%. Can I give you a funny Freddie Freeman stat?
Yeah, give me one.
June and July. Guess how many home runs he combined those 2 months?
I think it's 1.
2.
That's crazy.
Since the beginning of August, how many home runs do you think he's hit?
7.
Yes, 7.
Wow, nice, good call.
That was as of Friday, unless he hit another one on Saturday or Sunday. But and also especially when you look at this rotation right now, did you see how Shohei Ohtani pitched on Friday?
I mean, he's good. I don't really need to see. He's nasty.
He's throwing 102
Yeah, he's
with
a freak.
ridiculous breaking balls. Like they've actually built him up perfectly to a spot where he's ready to be a weapon in a playoff series. He
Oh,
won't be like 7-8 innings, but in terms of 4 innings from Ohtani, I know Tyler Glasnow is dealing with a stiff back. Like what else is new? Blake Snell will have to do it, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto is like a bona fide game 1 starter. Like I don't know how you can go into a playoff series against this Dodgers team with any remote level of confidence still, just based on the way they're built.
No, like I said, if you if you play the Dodgers, you better hope it's in the wild card series. That's your chance to get them. I think as the series get longer and longer, this is impossible to beat.
And we learned that as Mets fans last year. Like you get these guys over and over and over again. These hitters are so smart. Again, I know Mookie's had a bad year. Freddie Freeman's had a relatively bad year. Even take those 2 guys out. Shohei and Will Smith are 2 of the best hitters in baseball.
They're
Like
so good.
And guys like other athletes in playoff series, like guys like Andy Paz and Hai-Sung Kim who can just do crazy things.
And Paz is a big game player too.
Paz was really good in the first half. He's really tailed off in the second half. But there's just while this lineup doesn't seem as intimidating as especially last year's Dodgers lineup right now, like you see the dudes, and I can't believe that someone will knock them off until they do.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, and that's why we both got the Dodgers at number 1. We'd love to know your guys' opinion on all the playoff teams down in the comments section below. Remember to subscribe to the Windup for more baseball content. We appreciate the amazing support you guys have been showing. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you're following our TikTok, our Instagram, everything at the Windup Show for even more content. And that's it, guys. We'll catch you all in a couple days for another video. See you next time. Peace out.